Hello boys and girls, very good evening and welcome to this live session which is a part of the 15 must solve questions for the SBI IPO mains exam brought to you by TalentSprint. And this is problem number 2 as a part of this series that we have brought for all of you guys there, right? Now before we get into the discussion, let me quickly give you an update that India is at 126 for no loss after 21 overs, and this is for two reasons that I'm giving this update to you. Number one, we all love cricket, so I thought I should let this information be available to all of you. I'm sure you might also know the latest score. I saw it like a couple of minutes back. Number two is that today's question that we have is also based on cricket. We have got a very interesting data interpretation question with some missing data around scores of different batsmen and some conditions given there which can be used to find out the missing values and then answer the given questions there. So what I'm going to do now is quickly present these questions to you. I'll present the data first, try and understand the data, find out the missing values if you can. I'll leave you with the data for about a minute and then we will look at the questions asked. So let's get started with this question number 2 as a part of the 15 must solve questions for the SBI IPO mains exam, and the question is on your screens now. Look at what it says. You know, the table below, the table here is the scorecard of India during a test match, right? It talks about the scorecard of India during a test match. Some values are missing. Now find the answers based on the information in the table and respective questions. Answer the respective questions. So look at this. The players are, V. Kohli, S. Raina, R. Ashwin, C. Pujara, R. Jadeja, and MS Dhoni. We have got the runs. Of course, the score for Pujara is not given here, it's missing. Total can be very easily taken up as the sum of all these values. Then we have got the number of balls faced by each of these players here, right? 104, 55 and so on. The number of balls faced by Dhoni is missing. Then we have got the number of fours scored by each of these players and number of sixes by each of these players here, right? And again, few values are missing here, right? And the total is also given for the number of sixes. Also, we have got some additional information available as a part of this question here, right? These 7 points. So point number 1 says total runs scored by Kohli from those scored by 1s and 2s are in the ratio of 1:5. Number of white balls faced by C. Pujara is 6. Now, what is white balls is a confusion I have at this point of time. But immediately the next statement says a white ball is defined as the ball on which no run is scored, right? A ball on which no run is scored. During the entire match, only 1s, 2s, 4s and 6s were taken by the batsman, right? Only 1s, 2s, 4s and 6s were scored. So no 3s and no 5s, right? Not possible. I mean, in this particular context here. Then point number 5 says Kohli hits the maximum number of 6s among all the batsmen. Then we have, besides C. Pujara, every player has hit at least a 6. So C. Pujara is the only player who's not hit a 6. Otherwise, every player has hit at least 1 6 is the statement here. Then every player has taken at least a 1 and a 2. Every player has taken at least a 1 and a 2, right? There won't be any player without a run, without a single or a 2 scored here, right? Double scored here. So that's the data we have. Now, based on these points given, you can try filling up the missing values. Only a few of them are missing, like I think 1, 2, 3 and 4 of these are missing here. You can fill these values up and then answer the 5 questions attached with it. So I will leave you all with this data for about let's say a minute. I want all of you to try and fill up the gaps and then we will discuss the questions. So your clock starts now. These are the latest question types in bank exams where data is missing. And you all know that especially in the SBI IPO mains exam, data interpretation carries a huge weightage, so heavy weightage. So important that you solve such questions as a part of your practice. Well, I hope all of you are trying to fill the missing values here. 30 more seconds and then we will take this up. Hurry up. Alright guys, the time is up. I'm sure all of you have found at least 2 of those 4 missing values there, and the others are just calculations in terms of finding out the totals. By the way, just so that you guys don't jump to some other screen, let me tell you that India is 147 for no loss at the end of 23 overs, right? So wait for a few more minutes and then you can get back to the match, or rather I would say you should be preparing for your SBI PO mains exam and the other exams instead of watching the match there. Yeah, anyways, so back to this very interesting data in my view, right? While it appears to be simple, number of runs, number of balls faced, number of fours and number of sixes, finding out the missing values involves a lot of calculation, right? I mean, you need to frame the equations properly so that you can arrive at the unknowns there. So let's look at what all can be filled in and then we will proceed with the questions. So here we go. Now, first and foremost, if you see, we have talked about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players here, and number of runs scored, balls faced, fours and sixes. Now what is important is to understand these 7 points. First point is about Kohli, which says the number of runs scored by Kohli in the form of ones and twos are in the ratio of 1:5. Right? So number of runs scored in the form of ones and twos is 1:5. So what do you understand by this? Right? Like for example, if he has taken 2 singles, I mean, if let's say it could be in this form, right? If he has scored 1 run by singles, then he would have scored 5 runs by twos. But of course, 5 runs by twos is not possible. So it could be like 2:10. 1:5 is as good as 2:10, which means he has scored 2 runs using singles and 10 runs using doubles, which means he has taken 5 twos and 2 ones. Likewise, it cannot be 3:15 because 15 runs cannot be scored using twos, but it can be 4:20. What does it mean? He has taken 4 singles and 10. I mean, he scored 4 runs through singles and 20 runs through doubles, right? 4 runs through singles and 20 runs through doubles. 20 runs through doubles meaning he has taken 10 twos, right? That's the idea. Now, how do you use it? We will look at that later. Let's read the other points. Number of white balls faced by C. Pujara is 6. And the definition of white ball is what? A ball on which no run is scored, right? So number of white balls by Pujara is 6, and a white ball is defined as the ball where you do not score any run. During the entire match, only once, very, very important, only ones, twos, fours and sixes were taken by the batsman. So there were no 3s or 5s, right? 3s or 5s were not taken here. Okay. Now Kohli hits the maximum number of 6s among all the batsmen. So we have already got 6s scored by 4 of the batsmen here. Ashwin has scored 1 6, Pujara did not score a 6, Jadeja has hit 1 6 and Dhoni has hit 3 6s. Total number of 6s is 10. Total number of 6s is 10. We do not know about the count of 6s for Kohli and Raina. But we know Kohli has scored maximum number of 6s. And then it says beside C. Pujara, every player has hit a 6. Beside C. Pujara, every player has hit at least a 6. Minimum 1 6 was hit by every player except Pujara. Now I think I would like to first combine point number 5 and 6, because with the help of these, I think the number of 6s can be found. How is that possible? See, total number of 6s in this match are 10, of which 3 plus 1 plus 0 plus 1, 5 have come from these 4 batsmen here, right? 1 plus 0 plus 1, 2 plus 3, 5. Total 5 6s have come from here, which means the other 5 6s have come from the first 2 batsmen. These guys have scored 5 sixes. The remaining 4 batsmen have scored 5 sixes. Right? The total of sixes scored by Kohli and Raina should be 5. Now we also know that besides C. Pujara, every player has hit at least a 6. Meaning Raina should have hit at least 1 6. Minimum 1. It cannot take 0. This cannot take 0. Minimum 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Right? And Kohli has hit maximum number of sixes among all the batsmen. Kohli has hit maximum number of sixes among the batsmen. So try and observe. Dhoni has scored 3 sixes. If Dhoni has scored 3 sixes, Kohli should have scored at least 4 sixes because he has got maximum sixes here. So Kohli can score 4 sixes. If Kohli has scored 4 sixes, I mean it can either be 4 with Raina scoring 1 6 or it can be 5 sixes by Kohli and Raina scoring 0. You're able to follow? So 4 plus 1 plus 1 6 plus 1 7 plus 3 10 or 5 plus 0 plus 1 6 plus 1 7 plus 3 10. These are the two possible combinations. But then we know that beside Pujara, every player has hit at least 1 6. So 0 for Raina is not possible because Raina has scored at least 1 6. So 0 for Raina is not possible, which means 5 sixes for Kohli also is not possible. So very clearly we know the number of sixes. 4, 1, 1, 0, 1, 3. Right? Total is 10. So point number 5 and point number 6 have been used here. Also remember, every player has taken at least a 1 and a 2. Right? Every player has taken at least 1 single and 1 double in the game here. And we will come to this point later whenever required. So basically I don't want to spend too much time even in the exam trying to figure out all the missing values. I will do that only if it is required. Right? So let's move to the questions now. Right? Let's move to the questions. Question number 1. Okay, here's question number 1. Now that we have already figured out that Kohli has scored 4 sixes and Raina has scored 1, I'll just fill that up so that we don't have to do that calculation again. If required, we'll find out the runs scored by Pujara and balls faced by Dhoni. Right? Same data. What is the question? What is the total number of white balls faced by Kohli? White balls. Now, definition of white balls, you know. White ball is defined as the one in which no run is scored. How do you figure that out? See, simple. We know that the total runs scored by Kohli is 148. Right? So this 148 should be equal to what? See, we also know that the runs scored by Kohli via 1s and 2s is in the ratio of 1:5. Right? Is in the ratio of 1:5. So let's say it is like x and 5x. Right? And we know that every batsman has only taken 1s, 2s, 4s or 6s in this match. Right? So this number of runs scored by Kohli should be equal to what? 148 can be taken as a sum of x, which is the number of runs scored using singles, plus 5x, the number of runs scored using 2s, right? Plus number of 4s. See, 1s are done, 2s are done. Now calculate the number of runs scored via 4s. He has scored 13 4s, so 13 into 4. And he has scored 4 6s, so 4 into 6. Now find this out. 13 4s is 52, 4 6s is 24, 52 and 24 is 76. So 148 minus 76. So what do we get? X plus 5x. 6x is equal to 148 minus 76, which is 72. So clearly x is equal to 72 by 6, which is 12. What does it mean? He has got 12 runs using singles, which is 12 into 1. And he has got 5x, 60 runs using doubles. 60 runs using doubles, which is equal to what? 30 into 2. You're getting it? Are you able to follow? We know that Kohli has scored runs in the ratio of 1:5. I mean, he has scored his runs from 1s and 2s are in the ratio of 1:5. So if he has scored x runs using singles, he has scored 5x runs using doubles. Now this x is 12. So if you have got 12 runs using singles, you have faced 12 balls. This is number of balls. Number of balls. Each ball you have scored 1 run. And then he has got 5x runs using doubles. 5 into 12 is 60. He has got 60 runs using doubles, which means he has faced 30 balls, and on each of these balls he has taken a 2 run. So 30 into 2, 60. Right? So basically his score is balanced. 148 is balanced, right? 12 plus 60 plus 52 plus 24 gives you 148. But then the question is, what is the total number of white balls faced by Kohli? See, we already know total number of balls faced by Kohli, 104. Now try to get this score, 104. Balance, number of balls. This is number of runs. Now the number of balls equation. 104 should be equal to what? Number of balls on which he has taken singles. So 12 balls. Plus number of balls on which he has taken 2s, 30 balls. Plus if he has scored 13 4s, of course he has faced 13 balls there. And if he has scored 4 6s, he has faced 4 balls there. Plus the number of white balls. Let us assume the number of white balls are W. Do the calculation. So 12 plus 30, 42. 42 plus 13, 55. 55 plus 4, 59. So number of white balls should be equal to what? 104 minus 59. I mean, you can do these calculations without writing all these equations there, but then just with that. How much does it come out to be? 45, right? 104 minus 59 is 45. So 45 dot balls. Basically, white balls are nothing but dot balls. So option D is the answer. I repeat, we already knew that Kohli has scored 4 sixes. I mean, he has hit 4 sixes, right? So he has faced 4 balls here. He has faced 13 balls here. And then we know that number of runs scored through ones and fives, I mean through ones and twos is 1:5 in the ratio of 1:5. So first of all, using 148 total, try to find out how many runs were scored using ones and twos. We get the value of x as 12, meaning 12 runs were scored using ones and 60 runs were scored using twos. Then you can find out the number of balls faced using ones and number of balls faced when he took twos. So that comes out to be 12 and 30. So that 12 is number of balls faced for ones. This is number of balls faced for twos. This is number of balls faced for fours, and this is number of balls faced for sixes. And other than that, he can only have dot balls, white balls. So sum of that equate to 104 to get the number of white balls, which is 45. A very simple one, but then you should be clear with the points to be used. Let's move on. Next question. What is the minimum number of balls faced by MS Dhoni? Now you have to focus on the point minimum. Minimum number of balls faced by MS Dhoni. Minimum number of balls faced by MS Dhoni. I think this should be easier to calculate. We don't have to use any of these points given here. I mean, the only point that you have to use is each batsman has only taken ones, twos, fours, and sixes during the match, and every player has taken at least a 1 and a 2. If you keep these 2 points in mind, you will be able to find the answer to this question. So how do you do it? See, minimum number of balls faced by Dhoni. He has scored 81 runs. He scored 81 runs, right? Now this 81 runs is equal to what? 81 runs is equal to how many fours? 11 fours. How many sixes? 3 sixes. Plus, let's say remaining runs, right? Let's say R. Remaining runs. R is remaining runs, which is ones and twos. So 11 fours, 44. 3 sixes is 18. 44 and 18 is 62. Right? 62. So remaining runs is 81 minus 62, which comes out to be 19. Which means he has scored 19 runs through ones or twos. Through ones or twos. Yes or no? We have considered his fours, we have considered his sixes. Only ones and twos have to be considered. And we know that only balanced 19 runs could have come from ones and twos. Now understand, if you want minimum number of balls, if you want the balls to be minimum, the number of runs scored per ball should be maximum. Suppose if there are 18 runs, for example, if these were 18 runs, balance 18 runs, I could say all 18 runs came through 9 balls. Because, you know, in each of those 9 balls, he has taken 2 runs. It becomes 18. Suppose this was 20 runs. Suppose this was 20 runs. We can say he has faced 10 balls and each ball he has taken 2 runs. So that makes it 10 into 2, 20. But this is 19. Of course, 19 cannot come only with twos. So to keep the number of twos maximum, I can say it is 9 into 2 plus 1 into 1. 9 balls into twos. And 1 ball, 9 ball into twos and 1 ball into ones. So on 1 ball he has taken only 1 run. On 9 balls he has taken 2 runs. On 9 balls he has taken 2 runs. Right? And since he is talking about minimum number of balls, we can assume that number of white balls are 0. We can assume number of white balls for Dhoni is equal to 0. He wants minimum balls, right? That is possible when the white is 0. He should not be having any dot ball. Now, what is the minimum number of balls that he get? See, he has got how many balls where he has scored 1? Only 1 ball. Plus how many balls where he has scored 2s? 9 balls. Plus 11 fours plus 3 sixes. Do the calculation. 9 and 11 is 20. This is 23 and this is 424. Option A should be the answer. Yes or no? Option A should be the answer. Remember, the balance score 19 that we have got here has to be adjusted again ones and twos. I am taking more twos here and less ones, as less as possible, because I want minimum number of balls. I want minimum number of balls. Yeah. And since minimum number of balls, we can also consider whites to be 0, assuming that he has not had a dot ball at all, right? So 1 plus 9, 10 plus 11, 21 plus 3, 24. 24 would be the answer. Moving on. Next question. If the number of balls faced by Pujara to take ones is greater than that for twos, then he can score a maximum of how many runs? I think similar question, but this time we have to find out the maximum runs that Pujara has scored. If the number of balls faced by Pujara to take ones is greater than that for twos. So what do we know? The number of balls faced by Pujara to take ones is more than the number of balls taken by Pujara to score twos. Then he can score a maximum of how many runs? Pujara can score a maximum of how many runs? So basically we have to find out the missing value here, this missing value. Now what do we know about Pujara? He has scored 2 4s, he scored 0 6s, and there are 21 balls that he has faced. There are 21 balls he has faced, right? Again, the other point that we know is number of white balls faced by Pujara is 6. Keep this point in mind, point number 2. This will be useful only in this question. Otherwise it was not useful, but now comes the time where we can use point number 2, right? So how do you get this? See, 21 balls, I can say 21 balls is a sum of 6 dot balls where he has scored 0 runs, right? Basically white balls, right? Plus, let's say, number of balls for singles. I don't know how many balls he has faced there. Plus number of balls for twos, which is 2 runs there. Plus number of balls for fours is 2 here, where he has scored 4s. Plus 0, where he has scored number of 6s. Are you able to follow? I'm trying to get his equation, balance the total number of balls that Pujara has faced. He has faced 21 balls. Out of these 21 balls, 6 balls were dot balls. 2 balls he has scored 4s. 0 balls he has scored 6s. Remaining balls were for singles and twos. Singles and twos, right? Now what should be S plus T? Say 6 plus 2 is 8. 21 minus 8 is 13. So I can conclude that S plus T is equal to 21 minus 8, 13. Number of balls on which he has taken singles plus number of balls on which he has taken twos is 30. Now what do we want? We want his score to be maximum. Number of balls faced by Pujara to take ones is greater than twos, that's fine. But then we want his score to be maximum. Now, so the point is the sum of single balls on which he has taken singles plus balls on which he has taken twos is 13. Now what are the possibilities? Well, there are many possibilities. Keep in mind that the number of balls faced by Pujara to take ones is greater than those for twos, meaning S should be greater than T. The number of balls on which he has taken singles should be greater than number of balls on which he has taken twos. So how can you get that 13? You see, I can say he has 7 singles and 6 twos. 7 balls on which he has taken singles and 6 balls on which he has taken twos. So 7 plus 6 is 13. Or it can be 8 and 5, or it can be 9 and 4, or it can be 10 and 3, and so on, right? 7 6 8 5 9 4 10 3 11 2 12 1 and so on, right? 13 0. Now the point is we want the score to be maximum. We want the score to be maximum. Remember, score will be maximum if the number of balls on which he has taken twos is maximum possible. So the values that T can take are 6 5 4 3 2 1 0 and so on. But since I want the score to be maximum, I would rule out all these cases, eliminate all the cases. I'll consider 7 singles and 6 twos. That way my score will be maximum. Yes or no? Suppose he has taken 7 singles, 7 runs, 6 twos, 12. 7 plus 2, 7 plus 12, 19. But if you take 8 singles and 5 twos, 8 singles is 8 runs, 5 twos is 10 runs. So 18. 9 singles and 4 twos, 4 twos is 8 runs, and this is 9 runs, 17. You understand how the score is decreasing. 10 singles and 3 doubles, meaning 10 plus 6, 16. You're able to follow. So the value is reducing. The total value that we get is reducing. So for the value to be maximum, we should have maximum number of twos possible, which is 6 twos and then balance 7 singles. So what is the maximum that he can score? Now what is the maximum that he can score? How do you calculate this? See, how many ones has he taken? 7 singles. So 7 into 1. Answer, this is the final answer. Plus he has taken 6 twos. 6 into 2. Plus he has taken how many fours? Pujara, 2 fours. So 2 balls where he has scored 4 runs plus 0 balls where he has scored 6 runs. This is the final answer. So 7, this is 12, this is 8, and this is 0. So what is the score of Pujara? Tell me now. 7 plus 12, 19, 19 plus 8, 27. 27 runs is what he can score maximum. Right? Please do not go by the length of explanation here. Let me explain that to all of you. Please do not assume that these questions are so time consuming, right? I'm explaining it to you, hence it is taking longer. When you do it yourself, a lot of these steps can be cut down, right? A lot of this discussion can be, chopped, and you only have that required solution, which takes lesser time. Okay? So it's always about finding out the right balance. We want maximum runs, so maximum twos possible should be taken. We want minimum balls, so in each ball we should get as much score as possible, right? Minimum balls, maximum runs, and so on. Okay, next question now on your screens here. Look at this. Assume if only the given players score during the match for the team, then what is the minimum score of the team? Interesting question. Assume that only given players have scored during the match for the team, then what is the minimum score of the team? Now this is a time consuming question because we have to find out the minimum score of the team. Meaning, see, minimum score of the team is nothing but this total. Yes or no? This total. Minimum score. So now we should work on finding out minimum score for Pujara. Remember in the previous question we had done maximum score for Pujara. We cannot take 27 as the value there. Yes or no? In this question the answer is 27 for Pujara. But is it always fixed? No. This is with a condition, if condition. But 27 is not the fixed value, right? So in this case we have minimum score. How do you get the minimum score? See, minimum score of the team is nothing but this total. But minimum score of Pujara. How do you get that? See, for Pujara to score minimum runs, he has faced 21 balls, we know. When can we say he has scored minimum? Only when we consider least number of singles, least number of twos, least number of fours and least number of sixes for Pujara. So minimum for Pujara, minimum score for Pujara can be taken as what? See, we know that every player, this point is very, very important. You should not forget this point. You cannot say he has taken no single and no two. For minimum, you can say 0 singles and 0 twos, but keep in mind that every player has taken at least 1 1 and a 2. Each player has taken at least 1 single and 1 2. So to keeping that in mind, what can be the minimum score of Pujara? Let's assume he has scored only 1 single, plus he has scored 1 2, plus he has scored definitely 2 fours, plus he has scored 0 sixes. Plus, this should be plus. Okay. 1 single, 1 2, 2 fours and 0 sixes. That will give you the minimum score for Pujara. Why are we considering minimum score for Pujara? Because I want the minimum total, and that can happen only when this is minimum. Everything else is anyway fixed. So what's the minimum that you get here? 1 plus 2 3, 3 plus 8. Yes or no? This is anyway 0. 0 plus 8, 8, 8 plus 2, 10, 10 plus 1, 11. So 11 is the value that Pujara can take. Now find out the total. This will give you the answer. Simple question. So 148 plus 40 is 188. 188 plus 37. So that's like 195, 225. 225 plus 11 is 236. 236 plus 13 is 236 plus 13 is 249. 249 plus 81. 249 plus 81 would be 340. Just check that. Hold on, let me do it again. 148 plus 40 is 188. 188 plus 37, that's 195 plus 30, which is 225. 225 plus this is, let's say, 24. 225 plus 24 is 249. This is 250. 250 and 80 should be 330. Do we have that in the options? No. Are we getting 330 or 340? Okay, I think somebody has got a question. Don't we consider number of balls faced? I can assume that oh, hold on. Yeah, I have to. Sorry, there's a mistake that we have done here. I'm sorry. Minimum score cannot be 11 here. There was one more condition given about Pujara, that he has faced 6 white balls. Oh, I assume that all the remaining can be taken as white balls, but we should not neglect this point. He has faced 6 white balls. Sorry, so this would be a wrong calculation. Hold on. I think that's the reason we're not getting the answer as well. Minimum score of Pujara, I'll tell you what. How do you do it? I'll remove the number of balls there. Let's do it again. Sorry. Yeah. Come again here. Number of white balls faced by Pujara is 6. So 6 white balls meaning 6 into 0. Right? These are all white balls. 6 white balls. Then if you see, he has scored 2 fours. 6 plus 2, 8. Out of 21 balls, 8 balls are gone here. In white balls, 4s and 6s. Remaining are 13. I would assume in all the remaining 13 balls, he would have taken singles, but then there should be at least 1 single and 1 2 by each batsman. So out of the remaining 13 balls, I can say he has taken 12 singles and only 1 double. I mean 1 2. So 12 into 1 plus 1 into 2 plus 2 into 4 plus 0 into 6. You got it? 2 into 4 plus 0 into 6. What is this? 6 white balls, 12 singles, only 1 2s, then 2 4s and 0 6s. Why are we taking more number of singles and less number of 2s here? Because we want minimum score. Yeah, minimum score. So now find out the total of Pujara. What is the minimum total of Pujara? This is 0 anyway. This is 12 into 1, 12. Plus 1 into 2 is 2. 12 plus 2, 14. 14 plus 8, 20. Yeah, so score of Pujara would be 20. Getting it? Yes or no? 6 white balls, 12 singles. So 6 plus 12, 18 balls. 18 plus 1, 19. 19 plus 2, 21. You getting it? This 21 should be balanced. Number of balls faced by Pujara is 21. How are these 21 balls distributed? He has got 6 dot balls, 12 singles, 1 2 and 2 4s, 0 6s. So 6 plus 12, 18. 18 plus 1, 19. 19 plus 2, 21. So this 21 is balanced. The total that comes out is 0 plus 12, 12. 12 plus 2, 14. 14 plus 8, 20. Now do the calculation. So what happens? 148 and this is 60. So that is 208. 208 and 37 will be 245. 245 and 13 is 258. This is. Do we have the number here? 188, 195, 225, 245, 258, 259 and 80. No, 259 and 81, sorry. Or 259 is already there. 259 plus 80. Did I go wrong in the calculation somewhere? 8 plus 2, 10 plus 12. I'm sorry, yaar. This should be 22. Something is wrong with me today. This is 12 plus 2, 14 plus 8, 22. I don't know why I was taking it as 20. 6 plus 12 plus 2 plus 8 plus 0. See, this is the challenge. I would lose 1 mark here unnecessarily, and I wasted a lot of time, by the way. So if I'm doing it in the exam, one simple error in the calculation is leading to so much of confusion. So calculation is the key, like I always say. 18 plus 2, this is 0, not 6. So 12 plus 2, 14, 14 plus 8, 22. Yeah, now you can do the calculation. I think the answer comes out to whatever, 340 this time. It should be. Because 148 plus 22 is 170. This is 170 plus 40, 210. 247. 247. 247 and 13 is 260 and 81 is 341. I think it comes out to be 341 and not 340. Yeah. Anyways, you know what needs to be done there. Just balance the number of balls by Pujara and distribute the score. Next question. Okay, here I think is the last question from this data. What is the maximum possible run rate of the team? Maximum possible run rate. You know what is run rate, right? Run rate is the number of runs scored per over. What is the maximum possible run rate of the team? So, maximum possible run rate. Now, for us to get maximum possible run rate, since run rate is equal to number of scored by number of balls, number of runs by, what is run rate? Run rate is equal to number of runs by number of overs, which is nothing but number of runs by number of balls into 6, because each over is number of balls into number of balls by 6. Yeah, number of balls by 6. Okay, so no, if there are 12 balls, which means 2 overs. If there are 30 balls, 30 by 6, 5 overs. So basically the run rate is proportional to, run rate is equal to number of runs by balls by 6, or 6 into number of runs by balls. So for us to get maximum run rate, the number of runs should be maximum and number of balls should be minimum, right? The number of runs have to be maximum, number of balls have to be minimum. And there are only 2 missing values now. The number of runs for Pujara and number of balls for Dhoni. So you have to find out the maximum possible runs for Pujara and minimum possible balls for Dhoni to get to whatever 81 here. And then you can calculate the run rate. So how do you do it now? Have you already found the maximum possible runs for Pujara? Let me just check. We didn't find the maximum possible for minimum score. We found minimum for Pujara. No, we have not. Here we have found the maximum runs for Pujara, but that was with another condition. That condition was number of balls taken by Pujara to get ones is greater than number of balls taken by Pujara to get twos. But this condition cannot be continued or applied in the last question again, right? So I think we'll have to do it differently this time, right? Again, we have to deal with finding out maximum score for Pujara, the maximum score for Pujara here, and minimum balls for Dhoni. Get these values and then do this calculation to get the answer. Now, what is the maximum score for Pujara? Simple. 21 balls he has faced. Right, so maximum for Pujara. Maximum for Pujara, what will I do? See, he has faced 21 balls, right? Minimum one single every person has to take. So I'll say he has spent one ball in taking a single run. Remaining balls in taking 2 runs. I don't know how many balls are remaining. We'll come to that. Plus, no threes anyway. How many fours he has taken? 2 fours. So 2 into 4 plus 0 into 6s, and then he had got 6 dot balls also. Number of white balls faced by Pujara is 6, right? So 6 into 0. You understand? Now, how many balls can come here? See, total number of balls faced by Pujara is 21. In those 21 balls, 1 ball has gone for single, 2 balls on 4s, so 1 plus 2 is 3, 0 balls on 6s, so 3 only, and then 6 dot balls, so 3 plus 6, 9. Out of 21 balls, 9 balls are already distributed in singles, 4s, 6s and dot balls. Are you able to follow? 1 plus 2 plus 0 plus 6. So that's like 3 plus 6, 9. Out of 21, if 9 is gone, remaining is what? 12. I can say those 12 balls he has taken doubles. Now why am I doing this? Because he should get maximum possible runs. We want maximum possible runs for Pujara to get the maximum run rate. Right? So now find out the maximum score for Pujara. He's taken only one single. Minimum one single has to be considered for every batsman. I am taking all the remaining balls as 2s because 4s and 6s are fixed. 4s, 6s and dot balls are fixed for Pujara. 2 4s, 0 6s and 6 dot balls. Remaining balls we have distributed in such a way that he get only one single and remaining 2s. So find out the score of Pujara. This is 1 plus 12 into 2, 24. 12 balls of 2 runs each. Then this is 2 into 4, 8. And this is 0 and 0. Right? So what's the maximum that Pujara can score? 24 plus 1, 25 plus 8, 33. 33 is the maximum that Pujara can score. So that's the total you have now. Right? I think this should come out to, if 22 gave you 341, they should give you 352. Just check that. Now we also have to work on this number of balls faced by Dhoni. But that should be minimum, right? Minimum number of balls faced by Dhoni. So for Dhoni to have faced minimum number of balls, we should do it in such a way that he has scored maximum runs per ball to get to 81. Right? So do that now. So I'm distributing 81 now. How can I distribute 81? 81 runs should be equal to you want minimum balls for Dhoni, right? So let's assume he has taken only one single. Or let's consider 4s and this thing first. 11 4s, because that is fixed anyway, plus 3 6s. Yes. There is no condition with regards to number of dot balls there. I mean, we can say dot balls are 0 dot balls for Dhoni because we want minimum number of balls, right? So 0 dot balls for Dhoni. Did we find out minimum balls for Dhoni already? I remember doing some calculation like that. What is the minimum number of balls faced by Dhoni? We have done this calculation already, right? Same thing I was trying to do there. So you see 24 dot balls. We got 24 minimum number of balls faced by Dhoni. What is it? The same thing was trying here again. Waste of time actually. Not required because 11 into 4, 44 plus 3 into 6, 18. 62 runs have come through boundaries. Remaining 19 runs. In those 19 runs, I can attribute 1 ball for single and remaining 9 balls for double. So minimum number of balls is 1 plus 9 plus 11 plus 3, which is 24, right? So 24 balls for Dhoni. 24. Yeah, we have already done that calculation. Minimum number of balls for Dhoni, so don't have to do it again. That's it. So now you have the total runs, you have total balls faced, you can calculate the run rate. Right? You can calculate the run rate. You know what is the run rate, right? Number of runs by number of overs. Do that. So what is the total? 148 plus 40 is 188, 195, 225, 225, and then we have 33. So 228 and 30 is 258. 261, 271, 272 and 80. So this will be 352. Total runs scored by the team is 352. Total number of balls faced by the team, 104 plus 55, 159. 159 plus 42 is 201. 201 plus 21 is 222. 222 plus 5 is 227. 227 plus 24. 227 plus 24. 251. Yes or no? So we know that the team has scored 352 runs in how many balls? 251 balls. Let's quickly verify this ones, right? 159, 199, 201. Then this is 222, 227, 227, 247, 251. Yes. Now 251 balls is equal to how many overs? 240 plus, yeah. So I think you have to do this simple calculation here. So run rate will be equal to number of runs, 352 divided by number of balls is 251. That by 6 can go in the numerator. Number of runs scored per ball into 6. That will give you the run rate, right? Run rate is usually per overs, number of runs per over. So this is a final calculation. You got to do this to get the answer. So 352 by 251. I mean, since the options are spaced out so much, I think we can do an approximate calculation. So this is like, let's say 25 into 14. 25 into 14, and this is 25 into 10. Yes or no? 25 into 10 is 250, so very close to 251. 25 into 14 is 352, right? So 1.4 into 6. 1.4 into 6 is how much? 8.4. Approximately 8.4, somewhere close to 8.4. So option B has to be the answer. Number of runs scored per ball into 6. So that gives the run rate of 8.4. I mean, other options are definitely eliminated. All other options are far away from what could be the real answer. So option B, 8.48 is the final answer. And with that, we come to the end of this very interesting question. So guys, I think missing data interpretation is caught up in the recent exams in the last couple of years. However, the data is not really missing there. It's hidden in the question, right? The missing part is available in the questions directly or indirectly. So you have to use that information in the question to find out the missing value and then do the calculation. So it is one additional step when compared to a regular DI question there. And definitely a very interesting one given the subject. It is on cricket scores. So that's all about it. I think the learning is very simple. You have to be definitely very meticulous in your calculations. You cannot be going wrong anywhere. More importantly, you have to be quick in your calculations. If you end up doing all these numerical calculations on paper and taking too much of time, then overall it becomes difficult to manage that limited time that we have in the exam. Alright, so please spend time on a daily basis to improve your numerical skills, because the faster you can do your calculations, the more you can score in the exam. Every single question that you will solve from data analysis and interpretation section of your SBI exam will deal with numbers. You have to be very good in doing these calculations, and there are only 3 things that can be done to improve your calculation ability or numerical skills: practice, and more practice. So keep practicing and take very good care of yourselves. We'll meet again tomorrow, same time, 4:30 p.m. with the question number 3 from the 15 must solve questions for your SBI mains exam. Bye.